Hey everybody, we want to tell you about something new at Kirby Woods. It's in this back corner, so if you come as a guest into our church, this is most likely the lobby where you're going to be. But if you come into the lobby and then you take a right, I want to show you our new resource center, and so you can know what it is and how to use it. So come on, let's look at it. Okay, so here it is. If you're tight on time, I'm going to give you a 1-minute overview of everything, and then if you really want to stick around later and hear about each item, I'll tell you about that afterwards. So the main thing you need to know is that this is our resource center. It's broken up into two pieces. So the left side is the connect side, and that's really more for the things happening at our church. So it might be a map or a membership packet or a class list, what's going on in our church, and then we have specific items, how to get involved with mentoring moms, Zumba, things like that. So things happening in our church that you can be a part of. This side is really more about evangelism, discipleship, equipping you, the church member, to go out into the world and be on mission, the tools and the resources that you need. So you'll find here Bibles, Gospels, tracts, things like that. And so when we put all this together, it really encapsulates the idea that you, the member, are the one that does the work of ministry. And our job as a church, as a pastor, as a staff, is to help you, to resource and equip you to do that. So this center is just a way that we thought up to help you be as most dangerous for the kingdom of God as you possibly can be. So if you're still here, I want to now tell you about some of the more specific items. If that's all you came for, bye, see you later. But if you want to stick around, let me tell you about some of the things I'm really excited about. These are our Bibles. I love these ESV Bibles. They are really quality. You know, one of the things I dislike about giveaway Bibles often is that they're so small print, you really can't even see them. You get frustrated, you know, you can't find your reading glasses. And so this is a giveaway Bible you can be proud of. It feels like a substantial Bible, and it's free here for you. They are ESV. Most everything is ESV here, as that's what I preach from. This is a Gospel of John journal. So I think the best way to use this is that if you're going to meet up with someone and study the Gospel of John together, maybe in an evangelistic conversation, you would take this and give it to them. And the great thing about this is it has the text on one side, you have your words over here, and then it has a journaling side on the right. So you can say to your friend, you know, write any questions down that you have, make any notes, we'll get back together and we'll go over it together. So I really like that about these, and they look like they are made to match this Bible as well. Then up here we have 3 Gospels of John that are different ways. So the Gospel of John, Christians have long thought this is a great starter book, and that's why you have a lot of resources for it. So what differentiates these 3 is the red one is more of a traditional Bible feel. It's got verses, it's got paragraphs. You can see chapter 6, Jesus feeds the 5,000, and all your verses are there. This one is more in what's called a reader style. So there are no verses, there are no paragraph headings. It just feels like a book. If you gave someone a book, it would be exactly like this. So maybe if someone's not used to the Bible, that might be a better fit for them. And those are both in the ESV translation. But Love Worth Finding has gifted us with some New King James Gospel of John. And this one is really cool because it has a lot of commentary from Adrian Rogers built into the text itself, almost like a little study Bible. It also has red lettering, and I know some people really prefer to have Bibles with red letters. And so we're grateful to have those as well. If you go up here, you see on the outsides we have Bible studies. Those are if you want to start a Bible study. Say you have neighbors or friends and you need a resource to get going, to gather around. This would be something you could take as a leader and lead a Bible study. So for example, this is also given to us from Love Worth Finding. It's based on a previous Adrian Rogers sermon series called Grounded in Truth. And we have multiples of different topics, but this is one that I think would really be great to start with. It's a 9-week Bible study on the essentials of the faith. So you could take this, it's got daily component of reading, it's got discussion questions and prayer points. So if you really didn't know how to start a Bible study but you wanted to, you could grab one of these and be very dangerous. This is a training book. So for example, if we've all had that moment when you meet a new Christian, or maybe you've witnessed to someone, they've come to faith, and there's sort of that now what do I do moment. This is a book to put in the hands of a new Christian who's looking for, what do I do now? It's how do I grow? It's the basics of the disciplines of the faith. So want to have that here for you in case you ever run into that. This is a giveaway book called Praying the Bible by Donald Whitney. And the point of this is to give structure and guidance if you feel like you're floundering in your prayer life. So if you know someone or you yourself could use a boost to structure your prayer time, this book is here for you to do that. And then lastly, up top, we're going to have different topics. These are the three we have right now. Can I know God's will? Who is Jesus? What is the Trinity? These will change in time. They will not always be the same three. And just to keep it fresh, so you'll keep coming back. So the way we're going to kind of structure this is that pretty much these Bibles and these Gospels are going to stay as staples of the station. These topics are going to be interchanging, and maybe that might make you have a reason to come back. But we always want you to know there are going to be Bibles here. That's something that'll always be available. You should never in a church fumble and try to find a Bible when you're trying to give one away. So we all know this is here. We can all use it. This is for anybody to use to give away. Lastly on here are tracts. I know some people love tracts. Some people have never used a tract. I think tracts are a great thing as long as they're done well. We've all seen a bad tract before. So I've picked out 8 tracts that I think look good and are using modern language and are really about the topics that matter. So who is Jesus? Why trust the Bible? What is the gospel? Does God really love me? The solution to our greatest problem. This one I really like. So if you're looking to sit down with someone and go over the basics of the whole story of the Bible, this is something that in your hands, you can tell the whole story. You've got creation, curse, Christ, cross, recreation, and then commitment. It's a really great walkthrough of the entire faith. And so you can either use this for yourself to talk through the gospel with someone, or you can, if you've had a gospel conversation with someone and you want to put something in their hand to say, hey, look, we talked about a lot today. Why don't you take this, pray it over. If you have any questions, here's my number. So that's the resource side of it with all the equipping. I hope that's a blessing to you as a church. And then if you come over here to our Connect side, you'll see really some things are going to always be here, kind of like the Bibles are always going to be there. So membership packets are always going to be here. If you're ever talking to someone in our church and membership comes up, they say, you know, I'm really curious about being a member. I don't know what it's like being a member at your church. Just say, hey, I would love, have you had our membership packet? Let me show you. And you come over here and you just take it and you give it to them. Don't ask anybody, just give it to them. That's what it's there for. We also have a weekly schedule of everything happening in our church. So if someone doesn't know what our church is up to, you can give them the weekly schedule. If anybody asks you about Bible studies that we have, you can give them this, and it will show, you know, by kind of breakdown of demographic, all the classes that we offer at our church. We're going to do our best to make sure also that we have worship guides, bulletins that are always here, prayer guides from the previous Wednesday night. We know not everybody can come on Wednesday night to be in our prayer meeting, so we're going to take our prayer guides from Wednesday and put them here so you can have them if you're not able to come Wednesday. We know that our campus is kind of large and it's very expansive, and so Isaac has done a great job of making full color maps that you can see every spot in our church, and maybe if you don't know where you're going, that can be really helpful. So these will always be here as well. And then every month our church does a lengthy report of everything that happened the previous month that has all the stuff in it you'd want to know, reports from our committees, from our deacons, finance, really anything that would tell you what we did. And those are going to be here in paper form, but you can get those in email. But again, not everybody has email, and you might want to see a paper version. So these will always be here. This chalkboard we're going to do our best to keep updated. We're calling it the Next Big Thing chalkboard. And if you are thinking, what's the next thing happening at Kirby Woods that I need to know about? We're going to do our best to put that here. So at time of recording this video, it's our church luncheon next week after the service. That's the next big thing that we're all invited to and we could all go to. And then this is all going to change as events change at our church. So these are all little things that are relative to things you could sign up for, or things you could be invited to, or you could invite others to. So, you see a reference to all of the ways you can follow us online. You see here the Feed the Families, First Responders, Memphis Union Mission, ESL, how to get signed up for our text, the ladies in the quilting group, Zumba, mentoring moms, all of that is here. This is going to get filled out as more things happen in our church and as more flyers get made. We're going to fill this out. And then lastly, I would point you to our various invite cards. So if you've ever been out talking to somebody and you thought, I would invite them to my church, it's great to put something in their hand. These cards do that. It gives you and it's like, this one is like a business card. It tells you the date, the time, the website, and there's even a little map on the back. If you want one that has more ability to write on it, I would use this one. It's got a blank on the back with lines, and you could put your personal contact information, how to reach you, and then be willing to meet that person on Sunday, sit with them. And the whole point of this is to equip you, to resource you. And we put it here so that it would be a logical connection from our lobby, which is that way, to our library, which is here. So this is kind of the pivot point between the lobby and the library, connecting, making resources available to you. And one last thing before we go, I just remembered, we're going to have tablets here for event sign up. So there's always a digital way to sign up for any of the events happening at our church. We'll do our best to keep this refreshed. So if, for example, the luncheon, if you want to sign up for food, volunteering for a men's work day, finding a Bible study, things like that, they're always going to be here. So you could do a digital sign up in case you are here and realize, oh, I needed to sign up for that. That's going to be here as well. So hopefully this helps and it's been a resource to you. We are going to keep this stocked, and I pray that it's used by our church to make us more dangerous for the kingdom of God as members of Kirby Woods. Thanks, guys. I hope you enjoy it.